So I'm about to go down to the Imagine Art Studio and Gallery. Everybody here in town is, or not everybody, but all the art studios are getting ready for the Austin Studio Tour, which happens the 8th and 9th and the 15th and 16th. So 2 weekends. Um, that's a Saturday and a Sunday. And so, since I'm right here next to the Imagine Art Studio, I want to go down and just see if I could talk to some of the people working on it and see what they've got going on, see what the place looks like. I'm sure they're trying to meet their deadline, get everything finished since today's the last day to get everything ready. So, okay, hopefully it turns out good. Okay, I'm here with Lacey Richter. She's a staff at the Imagine Art Studio and Gallery, and they're setting up for the East Austin Studio Tour. And so I'm just going to ask her questions right off the top of my mind. I don't have questions prepared, but how's it going today?
Good. The tour kicks off tomorrow. The gallery is set. The exhibit's up. It looks dynamite. There was a lot of work to get done in a very vacuum short amount of time. And we've had multiple other organizations, including our One Star Foundation that funds a lot of our AmeriCorps programming. They had a board meeting here all day yesterday. We gave them a tour. We've got another organization that we partner with through AmeriCorps here today that's doing like a social hour kind of pizza party. So there's been a carousel of activity and movement and communities, different communities coming through the space. We're grateful to have such a beautiful space that people want to come to. There's a dance of balancing all the moving parts and pieces, as you know, Tony, and the layered cake that is Imagine Art.
So I've seen some new pieces in here, so that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, a lot of new work. Again, the Austin Studio Tour kicks off tomorrow, and that's been going on, a citywide art tour for over 25 years, and we've participated in many of those, but this is our first one at our new Live Make Tillery space. So we're hoping that some of our longtime supporters of Imagine Art come, and then people in the neighborhood will be curious and want to know more about what is Imagine Art and see all of our great art that our artists produce here.
I noticed the cool sign out in front on the easel. So there's this big sign on a gigantic easel, which looks pretty cool. So hopefully that'll bring in some of the neighborhood.
That's the idea. Our AmeriCorps member, she's an all-star, Catherine. She's been working really hard in multiple regards within the studio with our clients. She designed that logo of the hand, which is kind of like a hand of blessing, a hand of like we're making things here with our hands. And so hopefully that's kind of a nice icon to draw people, and then it has all the information of like the studio tour dates that run this weekend and the following from noon to 6. And then Rick and David had built the easel along with Elias, another AmeriCorps member. So it's definitely a collaborative team effort.
Do you have any pieces in the show?
I do. I have some installation work. I have an interactive component.
Okay.
And I have a mixed media drawing.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe toward the end, could we just walk over there and look at it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other favorites in the show?
Goodness, there's a lot. We didn't have a distilled down theme for this exhibit. It's kind of just the best of Imagine Art, but there are some themes that kind of appear, like this West Texas Terlingua desert wall, which you have lovely work on that wall, Tony. David has imagery from Terlingua at the Starlight Cafe, some of his great photography work. He's got a show also during the tour at another location of his photographs. But yeah, I'm partial to the West Texas desert wall. And then we'll see in a little bit, I collaborated. Laren, one of our amazing longtime artists here at Imagine Art, Laren Harp, he's blind, deaf, autistic. I call the trifecta. He has the most challenges, but he's one of the most prolific artists in our community. And he builds a lot of slab, clay, cars, and trucks. But I discovered a beautiful little snake he made.
Oh.
And so I kind of collaborated and did an installation around it on our West Texas desert wall.
And I have a snake. I don't know if you saw the snake in my painting. There's a hidden snake in my painting.
Somebody, literally, they were like, "Is that a snake?" And I was like, "Huh, it just might be." So she caught it before I noticed it. That was sneaky snake.
So really fast, can we just go look at your piece really quick? Okay.
This is the desert wall. We have your work, Tony. This beautiful watercolor on canvas, and I really appreciate how you left the kind of natural organic threads of the canvas weave and lots of space around it.
There's the snake
And
right
there's that snake right there.
there.
It's very cool. But yeah, I like all the muted colors, and it's very soft
Thank
and
you.
contemplative, like the
Yeah.
desert. That's why I'm drawn to the
Thank
desert.
you.
This is Catherine, again, our AmeriCorps member who did the sign out front. A beautiful piece on a wood panel. She's got a really nice kind of iconic style where she'll paint on the wood and then she wraps it around the edge. So those nopales, the cactus, go around the edge, really lovely, and all the detail of the needles and the cast shadows is really on point.
This looks like Lacey Richter.
I do like my installation. So I've got this century bloom here, which is kind of a motif in some of my work. I'm multidisciplinary. I do performance work, I do drawings, paintings, I do some writing, I do some music and installation, but I'm always drawn to like tactile things and nature. And this is kind of a nice piece. We're in the year of the snake, which is all about shedding, and I grew up in Kerrville, and we had that devastating flood this summer, and a lot of just shedding of lives and emotions, a lot of grief. So I think this is a nice kind of representation of some of those components. And it's already kind of shrunken down. It had more oomph to it when I installed it, but just like, because it's ephemeral, you know, it's changing in real time. And I'm always drawn to that, kind of the passing of time. The century bloom, going back to the desert, to me it represents, like, they say that century blooms only bloom once in their life.
Oh yeah.
And some do, some don't, but I've always thought that was such a beautiful kind of metaphor for life. We're here on this earthly plane, one go round, and we're called to bloom, and everybody's timetable is different, and what that looks like is different, and each day we have the opportunity to bloom anew. And I'm going to be doing a performance piece on Sunday at the Austin Central Public Library.
And who are you going to be?
So it's not necessarily my alter ego, Bandita. She might. Some of her is there. But a dear friend of mine that grew up with me in Kerrville, she's a really talented artist in New York. And she does weaving. So she's got a great show at the library. And it's all plants, like native Texas plants. So my performance piece is called Sacred Seeds, red in all caps, and Eternal Blooms.
Okay.
So I'm kind of responding to her textiles that are of these blooming plants, but also it's about holding space for grief in our community of the Hill Country and Kerrville.
Okay.
And it's kind of a cyclical piece, you know, again, we bloom on this earth, and then we go back to where we came, but I believe our essence is always very much here. And so it's interesting, like, how God kind of works through narratives of art and reveals things to us as we're doing it. And he's definitely doing that with me in my work.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
grateful. And then I have one other, Tony, there's one other interactive
right.
that still pairs with that. This piece, this is the interactive component. So these are kind of abstracted birds that I did in watercolor in the studio with the clients. And it was kind of about grieving and just kind of letting things pass. So I installed these, and then I have a bowl of water, and there's a prompts for people. It's an interactive component. They can write, you know, something that they want to release or let go of. It could be tied to, you know, grief or emotions or a relationship or a person, or maybe they're honoring someone that they love that's already passed, or something that they want to embody more of. The idea is that they write it on the paper and then place it in the water. They also could take an iridescent rose petal and just kind of as an offering place that on the water. And again, it's in connection with the flood and that kind of tactile ceremonial offering.
Very nice, Lacey.
Thank you, Tony.